They promised that the new Figma MCP server will help to convert Figma to React instantly. But this is what I've got. So what happened? My full honest experiment is live. Watch now.